We have Executive Director of Social Security Works, who is on the Hill confronting Republicans covering the Trump's attack on the working class. We have Alex Lawson with us today. Alex, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me, Egberto.
Well, let me tell you firsthand, you confronted Congresswoman
Miller-Meeks.
Miller-Meeks, and I thought that was excellent bird dogging that needs to be done over and over again. We have a whole lot of folks out there, Alex, that they're sending out all these feelers, help us save Medicare, but a lot of these folks are just not doing the job. I was extremely impressed with what you were doing in there in the halls of Congress. Explain to America exactly what's going on here.
I mean, your setup was right. What's going on is that the Republicans are currently, it looks like they do have the votes, but we will be fighting them tooth and nail all the way to the line and then beyond with accountability. But it looks like the Republicans have made their deals. All of their deals are losses for the American people. Unless you're a billionaire. What we're talking about is ripping healthcare away from 14 million Americans. You're talking about hospitals closing. Rural hospitals are in the middle of a collapse as is. If this bill gets across the finish line and is signed into law, there will be states with no hospitals in them. There will be rural states where there just aren't hospitals. And don't think that if you don't live in a rural area, that means you're okay. When hospital systems, health systems collapse, the ripple effects hit literally every single person in this country. What that means through the rise of uncompensated care and emergency room visits after people's healthcare is stolen from them, everybody's actual level quality of care that they get if they need it goes down, again, unless you're a billionaire. And why, Egberto? Why are they doing this? To give tax handouts to the wealthiest people in the history of the world. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. That dude is going to get an enormous tax break. He's going to get another golden yacht. The majority of Americans, their tax bill is going up, massively going up. And what we're looking at is a huge transfer of wealth from the bottom 10% to the top 10%. The CBO just released that. But again, the easiest way to think of it is the Republicans are voting to steal millions of Americans' health care, food off their tables, the elimination of Meals on Wheels, all so that they can give giant tax handouts to the wealthiest people in this country. Well,
I want to recap because we just got an influx of folks that just came into our Substack Live. So I want to recap where we're at right now. We're speaking to Executive Director of Social Security Work, Alex Lawson. He's right now at Capitol Hill in the guts of Congress, confronting many of these Republican Congress people to really force them to acknowledge what they're doing to Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, tariffs. Let me tell you, folks, it's important for us to find out. I don't know if you, with all the work that you're doing out there, Alex, I don't know if you read the new CBO report that actually says in as much as Congress requires regular order to change Medicare, that because of the law passed in 2010, I believe, these cuts, given that it won't reduce the budget by enough, will actually cut Medicare by $500 billion. So it's not only an $800 billion hit to Medicaid, we also are getting a $500 billion hit to Medicare proper. Go ahead, my brother.
I learned that, Egberto. I was on the Capitol steps last night at 1 a.m. With elected Democrats going into the Rules Committee. The Republicans started this process in the dead of night. 1 a.m. We were gathered there. That's when this kicked off. I will just, if your listeners don't know, you don't do things in the middle of the night if they're good. You don't do the popular things in the middle of the night. They're hiding what they're doing. They're lying about what they're doing. And what they're doing is exactly what you said. They're stealing 14 million people's health care. That's the destruction of Medicaid, the evisceration of the ACA or Obamacare. It is going to be a catastrophe. Hospital closures, community health center closures, the quality of healthcare that everybody in this country receives if they need it is going to go down. And last night at 1 a.m, Representative or Ranking Member Brendan Boyle, he's the highest ranking Democrat on the Budget Committee, he told me, I learned for the first time last night at 1 a.m. on the steps that despite all of their promises, they promise, oh, we're not going to cut Medicaid. Of course they're cutting Medicaid. $700 billion out of Medicaid. They are promising we're not going to cut Medicare. $500 billion out of Medicare. And just remember that when you hear their promises that they're not going to cut Social Security, of course they're going to cut Social Security. Look what they did to the Social Security Administration. The Republicans only have one plan: steal our money and give it to their billionaire benefactors on Wall Street. That's their plan. Steal our money and give it to their billionaire donors who will keep them in office to further steal our money. It's a racket, Egberto. It's a racket.
Now, for our listeners just coming in, we're speaking to Alex Lawson, the Executive Director of Social Security Works. He's out there, he's at Congress right now on Capitol Hill. He's been addressing and speaking to several of the Congress people who are stealing our Social Security, who are stealing our Medicaid, who are stealing all these things as we speak. I want to speak directly to the audience. To those of you that are listening live, and to those of you that are going to listen to this on podcast and on Pacifica Network, there is still time for you to do what is necessary. Alex is out there fighting the good fight. He's out there confronting these people. Not everybody's doing it. A lot of folks are talking. He's out there fighting. Here's the other thing, folks. You have got to get in touch, especially if you're in a Republican district, you have got to get in touch with your senator and your congressperson, specifically your congressperson right now, and let them know that there is a price to pay if they vote for this bill. There is still time for you to make a change. There is still time, but you have to get up and do the work. It's not about essence anymore. It's not about, I don't have a choice anymore. You do, Alex.
Just remember, you've brought up, Egberto, a few times the video that I made with Representative Miller-Meeks from Iowa's 1st Congressional District. This is a person who won by 800 votes. 800 votes. That's how many votes she won by to get her seat in Congress. Now, she's voted for already in Energy and Commerce, the bill. She voted for a bill that will steal healthcare from 67,000 people in her district. Now, a reminder, she won by 800 votes. So we have to be there. And this is what I was trying to tell her. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your job because you are voting to steal tens of thousands of your constituents' healthcare so that you can give a tax handout to the richest people in this country. And we are going to be sure that your constituents know about that. So right now, actually in an hour in Iowa's 1st Congressional District, we're going to be having a rally at a hospital, which is almost certainly going to close if the Republican tax scam decimation of Medicaid and our healthcare goes forward. So we have to keep this fight up. We're not done here in the House, even if, the 5 families, and I do think that's an apt description of the Republican factions, named after the criminal families of the Italian mafia. The 5 families have all made their deals. They've all been bought off with, this or that. Even if that's the case, we have to go down swinging because this is not the end of the road. The Senate is still up. And remember what it looked like when we defeated Trump Care in Trump 1.0. Do you remember? It passed the House. People didn't know we were going to beat it until it happened. So Never stop fighting.
Now, I want to add a little bit of context to that, right? Because one of the great things that occurred when McCain did this, I think that's the bill you're talking about,
yes,
when he tanked the bill, is that it was never effectuated. We have to make sure that this tax cut, this bill is not effectuated, because if it occurs, it takes that much more effort. Even if the Congress is won by the right people in 2026, it'll take that much more effort to reverse this. So folks, you have to do your work now, today. Alex, give me a closer and I'm going to fix this video up and get it blasted out all over.
It's working. It's working. Your voices are being heard. We've delayed. Every moment that we buy is a moment that we have for this thing to fall apart. The five families hate each other almost more than anything else. So we have to be able to get in there and keep playing up the differences between, the Chip Roys of the Republican caucus and the Miller-Meeks. We have to talk to all of the Republicans in those close districts and tell them every single one of the Republicans who is in a flippable district won by fewer votes than people would lose health care if this thing goes through. Miller-Meeks is the most obvious one. She won by 800 votes. 67,000 people lose their health care. We have to send a loud and clear message. You vote for this, you lose your job. And remember, no matter what happens, the fight will continue. We will continue to fight this forever because these billionaires, they don't stop. And so unfortunately, that means that we have to not stop either. We have to be on offense, keep fighting to build the society, the world that we want. And that is not one where the billionaires have everything and everyone else is left to fight over the crumbs that fall off their table. The world that we're fighting for is in the richest country in the history of the world. Of course, everyone can have health care. Of course, everyone can have a great education without ending up in debt. Of course, everyone can have a secure retirement. It's obvious that we can do these things. All we have to do is ensure that the few billionaires who've corrupted this system are tossed out onto their ear, and we have a government that works for the people and not for the donor class.
We are speaking to Alex Lawson, Executive Director of Social Security Works. Alex is on Capitol Hill right now, fighting the good fight, ensuring that we get that info to fight these guys who are attempting to, as he says, steal our tax dollars. Alex Lawson, thank you so kindly for having been on Politics Done Right on Egberto Off the Record. You're doing some more than valuable work. You're being a hero out there on Capitol Hill for all of us. Now we got to get the job done. Thank you so kindly, my brother.
Thanks.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.